Hi, I'm Frank McDonough from the Arboretum of Los Angeles County, the Questionable Botanist, and this is the streaming video show where we look at different questions. We look at plants, we look at what's going on around the Arboretum. So let's take a look. Today we've got hostage-taking plants, naked ladies, and construction. Let's talk about the fun stuff first, and that's the plants. This right here is blooming in the greenhouse. It looks fantastic. It is Aristolochia labiata, and this plant traps insects long enough for them to pollinate the plant. It has hairs inside the structure you see there. The insect will go in, become trapped, usually flies, by the way, attracted to the rotting meat smell that these have. And by the time the flies have broken enough of the hairs that grow inside of there that keep the fly from flying out, well, it's collected a lot of pollen on its body. And so the plant ensures that the next Aristolochia that fly goes to is going to have plenty, that fly will have plenty of pollen for that next flower. There's also another little thing about these that has been recently found out, and I think it was a study in 2003. Found out that the relationship goes further than that. Yeah, the fly's relationship with this plant is more complex than first thought. What happens is that while that fly's struggling in there, apparently it lays eggs. Those eggs hatch after the plant has expired and the deflated balloon-like, I guess you would call it, corpse of this thing is on the ground rotting away. And guess what? Those newly hatched maggots really like that environment, and as a result, this plant helps the fly propagate, helps the fly continue on generation from generation by providing a nice, warm, oozing, rotting place for its maggots. Well, there's more to it than that. I guess the plant really does come out further ahead than the fly. Why is that? Well, one, the fly doesn't get any nutrition from this thing except for the maggots, not the fly itself. Maggots get the nutrition, but the plant ensures itself a steady supply of pollinators. Apparently, this plant is very specific as to the flies it attracts, and those flies, once they lay their eggs in there, are very specific as far as where they lay their eggs. So this plant has a very specific relationship with the flies with the plant, and as a result, you have these very bizarre-looking flowers that grow mostly in Brazil, called, again, Aristolochia labiata. On to the more interesting and less disgusting flowers. That's the naked ladies. These are Amaryggias. They're a cross between Amaryllis belladonna and another lily-like plant native to South Africa. And they are blooming right now without any foliage, hence the common name naked lady. And they smell fantastic. These are located just south and west of the African section along the road that goes on the west side of the Bower lawn. That's the lawn that they have all the concerts on. They are growing under crepe myrtles, and the crepe myrtles are also blooming. So you have a really spectacular display of flowers and crepe myrtles blooming their heads off. Now, this area is going to be closed sometime next week for repaving. So get down here this weekend and check this stuff out. Let me just go over the repaving, by the way. We are repaving the Arboretum. It's going to be great, very nice, smooth, brand new asphalt coming down there. They're also widening some of these areas and putting curbs in some areas where there are no curbs, which is going to make it look really nice. And because of the nature of the work being done and the speed at which they're doing it, it's a hard-hat construction area, and the general public is not allowed in there while the construction is going on. So parts of the Arboretum are going to be closed this week. It is the southern part of the Arboretum from the tropical rainforest on south. Next week, it'll be the Bower lawn. That's the lawn that they have the concerts on. And the week after that, it'll be the northern part of the Arboretum, which includes the Australian and the African section. So just a heads up on that. And until next week, this is Frank McDonough, your questionable botanist here at the Los Angeles County Arboretum and Botanic Garden.